Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Love of Biology. Today we are going to learn about eukaryotic cell. Eu means true and karyotic means nucleus. So true nucleus containing cells we are learning. So what are the examples for that? Plants, animals, fungi, slime molds, protozoans as well as the algae. So the major difference between these prokaryotes and eukaryotes are, so eukaryotes contain the membrane bound compartments where specialized metabolic activities will takes place. An important difference is cell nucleus, which is present only in the eukaryotes and absent in the prokaryotes. So along with that, so that's why we are calling eukaryotes as a true nucleus containing organisms. Inside the nucleus, DNA is present. So but in the prokaryotes, it is present in the cytoplasm. The plasma membrane resembles that of the prokaryotes in function with minor differences in it. Cell wall is present except in the animal cells. So in plants, fungi, so cell wall is present. The eukaryotic DNA is organized in one or more linear molecules called as chromosomes, which are associated with the histone proteins. So all chromosomal DNA is stored in the cell nucleus. So let us see cell membrane. The cytoplasm of a cell is surrounded by a cell membrane or plasma membrane. The plasma membrane in plants and prokaryotes is usually covered by a cell wall. This membrane serves to separate and protect a cell from its surrounding environment and is made mostly from a double layer of lipids. And lipids contain the head and the tail regions. So if you see in the diagram, head is the hydrophobic one, which does not allow the water, and tail, which is towards the inside, is a hydrophilic, which will allow the water. But on both sides, it contains a head region, and in between proteins are embedded in the lipid molecules. So it may also called as a fluid mosaic membrane. Embedded with this membrane is a variety of proteins which act as a channels and pumps that move different molecules into and out of a cell. So the membrane is said to be semi-permeable membrane. It allows only the required molecules into it. It will pass only those which required by the cell. So these cell surface membranes also contain the receptor proteins that allow the cells to detect external signaling molecules such as the hormones. So these are present. Actually, this model is proposed by Singer and the Nicholson, that is fluid mosaic model. Here fluid is the lipid and mosaic that is a solid proteins. The cytoskeleton, eukaryotic cytoskeleton is composed of microfilaments, intermediate filaments as well as the microtubules. There is a great number of proteins associated with them, each controlling a cell structure by directing, bundling and aligning the filaments. The prokaryotic cell cytoskeleton is less well studied but is involved in the maintenance of cell shape and transportation. Nucleus. A cell's information center is the most important organelle found in the eukaryotes. It houses the chromosomes and the place where almost all the DNA replication and RNA synthesis will take place. Nucleus is spherical and separated from the cytoplasm by a double membrane called the nuclear envelope. The nuclear envelope isolates and protects a cell's DNA from various molecules and other accidents. During processing, DNA is transcribed or copied with its processing, and this is the nucleus with the nuclear pores which allow the molecules outside, and inside that nucleolus is present a spherical body and chromatin, nothing but the chromosomes, and they are covered with double membrane, that is nuclear membrane is present filled with the nucleoplasm. So what is the function of this nucleolus? Actually, it is a specialized region within the nucleus where ribosome subunits are assembled. Ribosomes are synthesized as well as assembled in this nucleolus. And next, mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. So it is a self-replicating organelle that occur in various numbers, shapes and sizes in the cytoplasm of all the eukaryotes. Mitochondria plays a critical role in generating the energy, that is ATP it will synthesizes. It generates the cell's energy by oxidative phosphorylation using the oxygen to release energy which is stored in the cellular nutrients to produce ATP. Mitochondria multiply by splitting into two. Respiration occurs in the cell mitochondria. Here, if you see, it contains the two membranes, inner side matrix is present. Along with that, separate DNA and ribosomes are present. So it is also called as semi-autonomous organelle. 70th type of ribosomes are present in the mitochondria. So it is a double membrane one. So here cristae, the foldings we call it, and filled with the matrix. So next, endoplasmic reticulum. So it is actually transport network for molecules targeted for certain modifications and specific destinations as compared to the molecules that float freely in the cytoplasm. These are of two types, a rough endoplasmic and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So rough contains the ribosomes on its surface and which secretes the proteins into the cytoplasm. What is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum function? It does not have any ribosomes on its surface, which helps in the lipid synthesis. You see, if you see the diagram here, you can see the ribosomes on the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which is a network like structure. So those ribosomes helps in the protein synthesis, but in the smooth one, these ribosomes are absent. It helps in the lipids. So both are present in the membranes and in the cytoplasm. They will release these molecules, biomolecules. So endoplasmic reticulum. Next, Golgi apparatus. The primary function of Golgi apparatus is to process and package the macromolecules such as proteins and lipids that are synthesized by the cell and glycolized them. That is making the glycolipids and glycoproteins. It also helps in cell plate formation during the cell division, which are sac-like structures. So which also helps in the transportation. So which will secrete proteins and the lipids glycolization it will undergo, and transportation here sac like cis phase cisternae are present inside that lumen. They are filled with that, so these are the cisternae. With the trans phases and the cis phases we can absorb. So next, cell organelle. So that is a ribosome. Ribosome is a large complex of RNA and the protein molecules which helps in the protein synthesis. Actually in the eukaryotes, 80S type of ribosomes are present with the two subunits, 60S and 40S. But mitochondria and chloroplast, they are the semi-autonomous which contain 70S ribosomes also. So eukaryotes contain both 80S and 70S. 80S in the cytoplasm, 70S in the mitochondria and chloroplast. So their main important function is protein synthesis. Next, lysosomes and the peroxisomes. Lysosomes contain the digestive enzymes. They digest the excess or bone of the organelles, food particles and engulfing viruses or the bacteria. These are also suicidal bags. And peroxisomes. So here you can see the lysosomes. Peroxisomes will detoxify the cell, which is present in that. So peroxisomes also detoxify that. The cells could not house these destructive enzymes if they were not contained in the membrane bound system. So lysosomes will digest, which have the lower pH. Centrosome, these are seen only in the animals which produces the microtubules of a cell, a key components of the cytoskeleton. It directs the transport through the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus. So these are present only in the animal cells. Inside that which contain the centrioles. Centrioles will produce these microtubules which helps in the division also. So which is separated during the cell division and helps in the formation of mitotic spindle. A single centrosome is present in the animal cells. They are also found in some fungi and few organisms, but not in the plants. Vacuoles, so these will store the food and waste. Some vacuoles store the extra water. They are often described as liquid filled space and are surrounded by a membrane. They are surrounded with a single membrane. We call it as a tonoplast and filled with a fluid called as a tonoplasm. So their main important function is the storage. You can see in the plant cells here it is a larger central vacuole we can see. So gas also they will store, and in animal cells also smaller vacuoles are present. So here also they will store water or food or any waste materials or gases. Cell organelle plastids, which are present only in the plant cells. So these are also double membrane cell organelles which produce the pigments and also store the food. They are of three types. The first one is leucoplast. These are colorless plastids and they store the molecules based on this. They are of three types. Amyloplast, which will store the starch. Elaioplast, which will store the oil, and aleuroplast, which will store the proteins. Next, chromoplast. So these synthesize the colored pigments like carotene in the carrots, which due to this they are orange in color, and like that flower petals different colors of the fruits and vegetables due to the chromoplast pigments synthesized by these. Next, chloroplast. It will synthesize the green colored pigment that is chlorophyll. Chloroplast involves in the photosynthesis. It contains the grana made of thylakoids which involves in the light reaction, and it is filled with the stroma where the dark reaction will takes place. So these chloroplast helps in the photosynthesis in plant cells. Of course we know that which are present. So in here we oval shaped organelles with grana and the stroma, and also double membrane cell organelles. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel, share it and like the video. Thank you.